Hey there, Transformers fans. This is Cybertron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Generations Blaster. This is Fall of Cybertron mode. I don't actually know if he showed up in the game like this, because I didn't play the sequel. I played War for Cybertron. It was awesome. But at the time, I just didn't pick up the game. I'm probably going to pick it up in the next couple months once it gets a little lower in price. But this figure looks amazing through packages. I wasn't planning on getting this mold at any point, but once I picked up the Soundwave mold, I realized I had to have this. It's such a great mold, and it really captures that feel of Great Voyagers that we had a few years back before we got into the movies and all that crap. Fantastic looking packaging. We've got the stats down here at the bottom. Very, very nice. This is kind of like what they used to do on the G1 thing, except you had to use a like a reader for it. It was very cool. And I'm going to move the camera up real quick so you guys can see the bio. And just a little bit about who Blaster is and stuff. There we've got, oh my gosh, what is that dude's name? Steeljaw. And another shot of Blaster here. This is the newer generation style packaging, red, and it's got the great kind of grid pattern here on the sides and stuff. Very, very cool, but sorry, it's not staying in the package. This is a Transformer. Let's get him out and see how he does. Bow! And here are Blaster and Steeljaw out of packaging, and I've transformed them both into their robot modes, or alt modes if you prefer that. And you can see Blaster has left the radio behind and has become kind of a Cybertronian, like, truck-like car. Just kind of like big and beefy and stuff. He's got, you know, nice cool wheels and stuff here. Very, very cool. The little thing that just looked like a tab before on Soundwave is painted yellow, like, and that since you mount the gun here, it looks like a seat. Very, very cool. I dig that. I like the way that they, you know, designed that. I guess whenever I get the little guys, I can put them up here. What is it? Rewinder and ejector. So very cool. Not a whole lot of like Ghibli type stuff. I mean, it's not exactly, you know, a typical looking car, so they can get away with a lot more. But you know, it doesn't look like there's anything that really doesn't fit. At least with the Cybertronian design aesthetic on the bottom, even it's not really bad. So pretty slick. I dig this. I like it being like a big meaty truck. And here is Steeljaw, who is he's a tricky little guy. The other ones didn't seem quite as complicated as him. He's pretty tough. Just to get all the parts, you know, lined up and stuff. But you can see it's got this, the great maze-like Tron-looking data disk design on there. Very cool. The Autobot symbol there in the middle. Very, very, very nice. And on the bottom is just Ghibli stuff. And then this little lever right here is the switch, so that when you drop him, and drop him out here, he transforms into nothing. he should transform. See, that's his front. But the tail doesn't come out on its own. You have to fold it out, and then the legs you kind of have to adjust yourself. So you have to, let's see, turn here, no, turn it up this way, and then down here, I think. If I'm doing this right. Oh, there we go. You pull the leg down like this. So it's got kind of like those, like backwards facing hindquarters, like if that makes sense. So that's Steeljaw. Very, very nice detail work for a guy that's not that big. Very cool. The gimmick with the spring open thing is pretty neat, I guess. I'm not a huge like Bakugan fan or whatever it is, but it was a neat idea. It goes with the play value of the set, which is cool. You know, it may be something that kids are interested in. Personally, I would have rather had this just be a transforming Steeljaw that, like, if you just leveled it out, just looked like that when he was done. That's cool. They could have easily reused that with Ravage, which I assume that they did, but I don't have the Ravage set yet. So, but cool nonetheless. I dig it. I like the tail's actually got, you know, some of the markings on it and stuff. The way it transforms, so that's cool. So yeah, Steeljaw, very cool. And like I said, he just does that when you drop him on the ground. So to transform him back, you fold the tail back up into the body. The head and feet sort of flip over like that. You can see they kind of lay flat, the feet do, flatter, I guess. And then you flip over this section right here, and that sort of locks it into place a little bit. And then you push the main part of the body here up, lock these smaller legs up, twist them around so that they're facing upright, because you basically want all of the data stuff to be on top, like I guess if it was like grooves of a record, you want all the grooves on top. And then the tricky part for me is not hitting this button while I'm trying to push this part in. So you can see that there's gears in there. Basically you push and it feels like you're going to break it, but you just push it forward like that and see it kind of collapses. And then you just lock everything into place and pray that you don't hit that button. The button is very sensitive because it is designed to open as soon as it hits the ground. So even if I was just to rest this, with that down, it would pop back open. But still, very cool. I like the design on that. Now for Blaster, he's got a pretty simple transformation overall. The only thing that really gets me is the seat part, just because I forget to do it in the correct order. But basically, you just pull this back just to kind of get that out of your way. See, it kind of flips straight up. The legs, they tab into this section right here, so you just unplug them. They tab in here, so you unplug them from here as well, which this part can be a bit tricky, because they like to stay nice and secure. There we go. Got that one out. There we go. Alright. Now this whole section, you see there's a hinge here. This whole section will unlock from the back, just like that, because it locks into this part right here. And then it flips forward like so. Move the legs down. And then locks into place. So that becomes his waist. So, very, very nice. Just straighten the legs out. Straighten the feet forward. And then these parts here, the wheels, the hubcap area, I guess. Well, not hubcap, fender area. They will spin forward and kind of lock softly into place. They don't like make a click noise, but or at least not on that one. That one clicked a bit better. And then you're halfway done. Let's see if I can pull out just a scotch more. I think I'll have to do it like this. This is a big figure. So you pop the top here. Just pull those two parts apart like that. You can see his head is exposed now. And then the arms are pegged into the chest, so you have to sort of unpeg them. Well, I guess it helps to undo the arms here first. I'm lousy at reviewing Transformers. Very organic process, me getting the Transformer completed. So basically you just got to wiggle it loose. Yeah, these wheels kind of pop out of your way if you need them to. There we go. And then this whole unit, this whole apparatus is on like this kind of hinge thing here. So you just move it up like that. This part moves back to the back. And then you fold the arm forward, just like so. The flap that was up here, it folds to the back and locks into place. And then all you have to do is flip the hand out and then spin it around. And then you've got the finger sticking out on that hand, which I think is awesome, and I'll show you what in a minute. But same deal over here. You just kind of have to unlock it. That one came out much easier. Double hinge it up into place. Kind of keep it out of your way. And then push this part back. This just becomes part of the back kibble, which isn't really kibbly when it's done, but pull the arm down, flap, lock into place, and pull the wrist out. Just like so. So then when you stand him up, like that, now when you've got him into this position, you just got this back piece that you got to deal with, and basically all you do for that is flip down at this hinge, and then flip this part forward like this, and then you can see there's a slider here, and basically you're just going to slide this piece into, well, I'm sorry, you got to do it when it's like this, because it'll lock into place otherwise. So you basically slide it like that, right along that, and then you just push forward until it seems like it's locked into place. You don't want to push too far because it will push this part open as part of its gimmick. But there you go. There's Blaster in all of his blastery glory. Very, very cool. And he's got his old cool rifled, scoped rifle, which looks dynamite. I really like the design. They got all the like grooves and everything back in it, which is very cool. I really dig it when Hasbro decides to go back to the old style guns and just make like big, beefy, awesome looking guns. That's awesome for me. So yeah, this figure is amazing. Let's get some close-ups so you guys can really see what we got here. Very nice face there. Kind of somewhere between like a smile and a battle growl. I guess it could be either depending on what you like. Personally, I like the smile for Blaster. Reminds me of the old Dr. Smooth videos where he was just kind of like the cool cat that Optimus always wanted to hang out with. They redesigned the front here. You notice there's no claws and stuff. And they've got the Autobot logo, his old style see-through blue cassette fronting thing, whatever you want to call it. Very nice detail overall. Hands look like segmented robot hands, very, very cool. They painted some of that lovely Allspark blue on the side here because I guess they just got gallons of the stuff. As I said, the gun looks fantastic. The legs, really, really nicely done. Just fantastic sculpt. Not a ton of paint on this thing, but more than you might expect. Looks really, really good. And from the backpack is fairly minimal. I mean, I'm going to pull out a little bit. Now, if you put more little guys in there, the backpack will get larger, but for the most part, it's not bad. And there's not like a lot of empty cavities on the back or anything. You see there's a little bit there, but on the whole, pretty nice. Very, very cool. So, let's lean back a little. Alright. And we're going to talk about some articulation. So in the head, we've just got a simple swivel. I would have preferred a ball joint, but, you know, you get what you get. We've got swivels at the shoulder, and then hinges here, so they can go in and out too. And because you've got this double hinge, you can kind of fudge some poses too by pulling it away from the body a little bit, and then moving, you know, the arm further out, stuff like that. So you've got options there. You've got this additional hinge here that's for the transformation. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, that's not part of the transformation, I don't think. Yeah, it's not. So that's just for fun. You've got this great elbow here, which is on a ratchet and also goes all the way up. So it works like a double hinge, even though it's just one single point. I wish more companies would realize that you could do that. You've got a hinge here for the transformation. Swivel in the hands. Very nice. Nothing in the waist, really. Nothing at all. You've got swivel hinge hips here, so forward as far as you want to go, back as far as you want to go, you know, with respect to reality. And then the hinge outward is perfect splits. Excellent. We've got swivels in the thighs go all the way around. We've got ratcheted hinged knees, and they go about 90 degrees. Very, very nice. And then we've got hinged ankles, which are not ratcheted, but are very tight. You know, they're not going to go anywhere. So very, very cool. Guy's very poseable. Like, you can do a lot with him. I mean, it's very simple to get him into a pretty cool pose. You don't have to work real hard for it, which I always like in an action figure because I am not good at posing. So, but simple like that. I mean, something like that took me a few seconds. So, and that looks good, you know, it doesn't require me to be good at it, so that's always good. So articulation-wise, this guy is banging. I really, really dig it. And he's really big and thick, and he feels like the old Voyagers that they were doing a few years back, like the Cybertron era Voyagers, Transformer Cybertron, and then the early classics Voyagers were really, really good. This guy feels like those, and I can't stress enough how good that feels. Because it's a Voyager that feels like a big, bulky Voyager. I mean, this thing was $22, $22.50, something like that. So it feels like it's worth the money, and I dig that. Now, action feature, because he has one of those. You'll notice I did say he had his finger sticking out here, which you could use as a trigger finger if you wanted to put the gun over there, but I think the reason that this hinges outward here at this point is so that you can get convincing poses of him using his finger to press his button on his shoulder, which is awesome because that's how they always used to eject them on the show, and I think that's so cool. But basically, you press down on that, and you can see how quickly that snaps open. It is springed here, so when you push that up, you press the button, it's going to shoot open fast. Very cool. And inside, you can see the cavities, got all kinds of cool robot-y type stuff in there. It's not painted or anything, but the paint would probably scratch pretty easily if it was. But very, very, very cool stuff. Now the back here, if you were to actually move these out to the side, you could push that a little more forward and creates less of a backpack. See, it's much more compact now. But it means that you wouldn't be able to fit anything in there. So you kind of have to move these guys out of the way a little bit and push this back. because Steeljaw will actually store inside of him, which I think is just banging. That's cool. Now, just like Soundwave, it is a bit tough to get this in. You have to kind of jam it in with all of your might. That's what she said. Oh, I just noticed this is on a hinge. I didn't realize that before. That's very cool. I guess that's probably part of transformation too. I probably should have done that. But we'll do that in a second. So, press down on the button. Boom. And then the backpack works to press him out and forward. Let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, so we're going to press him forward. Let's see. Come on, Steeljaw, do your thing. Oh, shit. Darn, I mean. So, as you can see, he did transform. And actually, with his hindquarters all packed up like that, he kind of looks like a bear, which is kind of neater. Yeah. So he does transform, but he is going to shoot out. So that's kind of problematic, I guess. Now that mode does also, the ejection part does also work in alt mode, which is cool. But yeah, this figure's nice. I really, really dig this guy. To transform back, we're going to lift up a little bit again. And I apologize if the camera makes loud noises, but I'm just going to put Steeljaw back the way he was. Get him back into his data disk mode because tapes aren't a thing anymore. So, just like that. We're going to take Blaster's gun out of his hand. Make sure that we get the fist put away in the proper way. Sometimes they can be a pain to get back out, but, you know, that's part of Transformers. So it's got to be something tough, right? Make sure the head is forward. And first off, let's kind of get these out of the way and pull the backpack out, just like that. And I don't know if you really could see, but when that backpack is pulled all the way out, you can fit about 3 of the tapes in there, or data discs in there. I've got 3 in Soundwave, and that's as many as will fit. But it will make the kibble stick out that far. So that's up to you if you want to do that or not. So I'm going to go ahead because, see, when you do turn this thing, there's a, I'll show you. When you pull this out about that far to get that into the right position, when you turn it up, you can see it'll lock into some grooves. Let me show you that again closer up. See how that locks into that section? That means you won't be able to move it forward or back anymore. So you need to make sure that you push this out before you try and turn it. So that way you don't break your toy. So we get his chest closed up here. And we'll go ahead and pull the arms up and get these parts, just get these up out of the way a little bit, forward, just to get them kind of going in the right position. Unplug the shoulder pieces, just like so. And then you basically are going to hinge that whole arm section down, boom, boom. And there's a peg right here that fits into a slot here. So you just move the arm up and lock it into place. Now the whole rear of this arm just swivels down, just like so, and you'll hear it clicking into place, and just like that. So that kind of creates like the nice illusion of a door there. Same thing over here, hinge the whole apparatus down, make sure you lock that into place, and then just turn the arm up like so, and then the fronts here, what were the shoulder flaps, they will just collapse and close over Blaster's head, which is pretty cool. There's a gap here, and you can kind of work the thing, like squeeze it together, and then that'll stick better. But more often than not, it tends to pop right back out like that a little bit. So it's not perfect, but you can kind of work with it a little. So this thing, we're just going to straighten that out and flip this up. And we're going to flip it all the way up, and then pull this straight up. As I told you, this is the thing that always kind of confuses me, but you unlock the waist, just like so. Lock it to the back like we showed you before. You see there's like a couple tabs there. It just clicks right into place. And then you want to make sure that these parts are in the upward position so that they're closer to the knee than they are to the shin. So just flip that around. Just like that. And then basically the legs are still going to be straight out. You just want to spin them up on their knee axis. Fold their feet forward. And you'll see there's a tab right here, and that just kind of locks into the door. See how it clicked into place? And the tab that's right here, this red part that sticks up, goes into this slot here on the foot. So you just fold this foot forward, and boom. It doesn't like lock or anything, it just kind of tabs in. Same thing on this side. Let's go ahead and get this toe pointed right. And then you just lock the door in, like that. Push the foot forward, and it sort of tabs in. Everything look good on the back? Yes. So then we just push forward here, and fold this part down, and voila. We have a big truck-like thing. Now this part, I'm guessing... Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's look at the huge instructions. These are the biggest instructions I've seen from Hasbro for a while. Like, short of Masterpiece, I've never seen instructions this large. They're really well done. They've got this really nice kind of like dark red, like cherry color to them. But yeah, very, very cool. So let's get down to the bottom here. They really just show it kind of resting up on his upper chest a little bit. So that's what we'll do. Just kind of push it up and over, sort of like, oh, I guess maybe these parts go up underneath here, like so. Huh. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Gives him a little less of a flat front profile. Looks kind of neat. Kind of makes him look like he's got buck teeth on his car, but hey, that's cool. You know, not to judge. And the gun, of course, you know, sits up here. So I told you the gimmick would work in this mode. So to do that, basically all you have to do is, I'm going to push the chest back down, and this whole part will sort of slide forward and should eject the front open, which it's not really doing right now, so I'm going to open it myself. Let's push it back so that we can get Steeljaw in there. Close that up. Make sure his head's closed up. Alright, and theoretically this should shoot Steeljaw out whenever you push it forward, but it doesn't feel like it's going to. Oh, there, it did it. And you can see he did transform. Very cool. So it did work. I've been kind of leery of doing it in this mode because I'm sure there's some mechanism in there somewhere that causes this part to open, because this is the part that keeps the door locked closed. But it makes me nervous not having it open already, because I feel like I'm just putting stress on this, because I don't know how the internals work. But as you can see when you press this button back here, that's what makes that part lift up. So it seems like you would have to press that somehow, and this doesn't really do it. So, I don't know. So let's talk about value. Like I said, I got this guy for about $20. Well, the newer prices are about $22. And for $22, you get Blaster, which is a very nice mold, fully articulated, large action figure. Once I get him transformed, I'll show you guys a little comparison or two, just with standard action figures. But you get a large action figure. You get the Bakugan-esque Steeljaw, who is a really nice transformer in his own right. Very well detailed. Got some cool spring mechanisms and whatnot. You get play value. A lot of play value, actually, for this figure. For it to be kind of directed towards collectors, you know, because it's from a game that probably most kids haven't played or don't know about, because it's not, you know, based on a show or anything. You actually have a lot of stuff going on with it. There's a lot of cool action features and things. You know, the springs and the cockpit that actually works. Oh, I think I put that the wrong way. There we go. You know, the little seat up here for the gunner and stuff. So there's a lot of play value that's actually fun. It's like useful. It's not just, you know, there for their sake. You know, it makes sense for Blaster, and it's very cool. So you get that. You actually get a gun. With Blaster, you didn't get both Soundwave, you didn't get both guns that you thought you were going to get. So at least it's nice to get the gun that is shown on the package. $22, pretty nice, gotta say. Let's bring in real quick, just so you guys can see. Here's Ghost Rider from Marvel Legends. So he is roughly 6 inches tall, And if I can move Deadpool over here, 'cause there's like 1,000 Deadpools running around, we'll get Prometheus guy in here, the engineer, who is much taller. You can see he's about, I think, 8 or 9 inches tall. So you can see Blaster is a very respectable 7.5 inches, probably about 7.5 inches tall. Maybe 8 to the top of his shoulder pieces and stuff. So he's a pretty big figure. And for $22, the amount of engineering that went into him, the paint, the fun, and that everything actually works. Like all the gimmicks are actually usable. They don't just, you know, buckle. Like I kept expecting Steeljaw not to pop out, and he kept doing it. So that's great. That's a commitment to quality, and I dig it. $22 is probably a pretty good deal. I didn't move his things all the way back down. Yeah, I would definitely have to recommend this figure. Personally, I'm putting this with my Classics collection. I never bought the Blaster that was a jet because it looked ridiculous to me. Why would Blaster be a jet? It's because they had the mold, that's why. This one works much better. It's got the chest, which is awesome. Not that that one didn't, but very, very cool. I really dig the mold. I liked it on Soundwave a lot. I dig it on Blaster just as much, if not more. I really like his bright colors, and he looks great, and he's going to fit into the G1 collection perfectly. So yeah, highly recommended for War for Cybertron, or is it Fall of Cybertron fans. Highly recommended for Classics fans. Just get the figure. He's very fun. He's very cool. You will enjoy having him in your collection. Yeah, and let's not overlook how nice a simple transformation is. I've been getting personally pretty tired of how many like slides and hinges and things have, and like it always takes like 10 minutes to transform something, and you have to use the instructions half the time. It's like, I like that his is simple enough that I can do it with only having to look at the instructions once to figure out why there's a hinge here. So, which by the way, I didn't really show it off, but that is painted up underneath there, and you can see that there's like speaker details, which is very cool. Yeah, $22, $23. I think $25 at some retailers. At $25, still a great deal. I got the pair of him and Grimlock for less than $50, which sounds like a lot, but really isn't for a Voyager class. So, yeah, definitely pick them up if you're a Transformers fan. If you're not, you know, hey, maybe it's time to give them a shot. They're pretty cool. They're fun. They're nice things to have on the desk just to screw around with if you're bored at work. Not that I ever do that, boss. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, anything you think I glossed over, didn't cover well enough, let me know. And I'll try to answer any questions in the boxes below. So thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.